like to thank everybody for coming this morning. Yesterday's fire was a heartbreaking experience for all of us in our family and the fire department. The fire began in the early morning hours. Our companies responded. We rescued 12 victims out of the fire. 4 were transported to the hospital, including a 3-month-old baby. We had 3 firefighters that were injured. 2 had second-degree burns. 1 had smoke inhalation, and all 3 were released from the hospital. We will be starting investigations. We've actually started them yesterday. There will be 3 ongoing investigations that are done. The first is our normal fire inspection investigation of the fire itself. That will be the first report to come out. I can't tell you when that will be, but it will be fairly soon. After that, 2 more extensive investigations will be done. One will be done by our department, by our Human Resource Department. We'll put together a team that will do an in-depth investigation, interviewing all participants in the fire, all the procedures that are done, and will come out with a large report. Along with that, NIOSH will be doing a report also, an investigation that will go on simultaneously with the investigation that we do. These reports will be extensive, so they take a while. They could take almost a year to complete. We had 2 firefighters pass away in Toledo, and their report has just came out, and that was almost 16 months ago. You are standing in the station where firefighter Gordon spent almost 25 years of his career. What we do is extremely dangerous. We're very good at what we do, but every time we go out on a fire, we put our lives at risk. I have a radio in my office, I have a radio in my car, and I have a radio in my home. And every time we go on a first alarm, my heart goes in my throat because I know what our firefighters go through. You can do everything right, and still things can go wrong. At this time, I'm going to turn the podium over to our union president, Matt Alder, who will give you some information on funeral arrangements.
Thank you, Chief Braun. And before I release what information I do have, I want to thank the members of our community, the public, for the support and the outpouring of support for our Cincinnati firefighters, both that were affected by this, that are on duty today and throughout the country. Truly, it's a very good feeling to know that our community stands behind us in these tough times. And just like our firefighters are there for you and continue to be there for you, it's good to know that you're there for us, and we certainly appreciate it. Planning is ongoing for the funeral arrangements and the viewing for firefighter Daryl Gordon, working with Mrs. Gordon and the family to make sure that their wishes are both honored and respected. Preliminarily, we are anticipating a funeral in the middle of next week. As we finalize those details, we will get that out to the media, more than likely through another press conference. In the meantime, we are receiving an overwhelming number of requests and offers for donations, and the public wants to know what they can do. And a fund has been set up at Kemba Credit Union. The Firefighter Daryl Gordon Memorial Fund has been set up at Kemba Credit Union. You can donate at any branch. You can also send any donations attention to the local 48 Union office at 1011 West 8th Street, 45203. We will also send that information out via our local 48 Facebook page and the Cincinnati Fire Department Facebook page. Once again, on behalf of the men and women of Cincinnati Firefighters Union Local 48, we thank you for your support as we work through these tough times, and know that we continue to do our best and maintain the professional services that we provide to you every day, even as we work through this.
I'd like to let you also know that all the inspection records and the 911 and radio traffic should be and is expected to be released today. Again, when we're done here, you are invited to take a walk through the station, into the kitchen area where firefighter Gordon spent a lot of his time. That's where firefighters, where, as you know, we're a family. We do training, we eat, we discuss the topics and solve the problems of the world in the kitchen, around the kitchen table. So we invite you to take a look at that. At this time, I can take questions.
That first investigation you talked about, the normal, what can we expect to come from that?
Well, what you can expect from that will be the origin of the fire, what started the fire.
Do you want to say what you suspect at this point?
No, I don't want to make any, our process is going on, and then we'll let you know when they get done. They're very thorough, so they won't let us know until they're finished.
With regard to the elevator door, was there, I know you guys have specific plans sometimes for buildings downtown. Was there any specific fire plan for that particular building? Have you guys toured that building before? Were you familiar with it and familiar with the door, the elevator door itself?
Well, all that will come out during the report, but we do inspect all of our buildings and get familiarization inspections. One thing to remember with things of that nature is our companies ride and fight fires in every building in this city. And that was a fourth alarm fire. So we had companies from all over this city going to Madisonville. So I would have to guess that probably 2/3 or 3/4 of the companies there have never seen that building before. So.
Can you talk a little bit about his role in the kitchen and what an integral part that plays in fire safety? How much time he's spent there?
Right.
Just a little bit about his role.
He had he was just a huge personality. I would see him when I'd come down, my office is right upstairs, and my car is parked right next to the rescue, and many times I came down and he was giving school. And he'd be sitting on a bucket giving school to someone learning how to become a rescue tech. And he was just a vibrant person. You know, I've heard him described as a big teddy bear, and that's it. If you wanted to describe him, that's who he was. He was exceptional at his job and loved doing it. Here he was with 30 years on, he's on a heavy rescue. So that shows you, you know, he didn't say, well, I'm going to go in retirement mode now and wait for, no, I'm going to fight fires up until the day I retire. So that was his attitude and the way he was.
Was his retirement upcoming?
I'm not sure. He was probably within several years. Mm-hmm.
Chief, heavy rescue and bomb tech and apparatus operator. Do you know, had he been to that building before? Was he familiar with it? Is that something you wouldn't know?
I wouldn't know.
Would you talk to us a little bit? I saw many firefighters come to the scene yesterday in shifts, and I think there were a whole bunch that went last night. Could you explain to the public a little bit about why that is done, why that is important, and what they see?
Sure. Obviously, we're very close-knit. And when something happens, we take them down to the scene so they can see for themselves what went on as opposed to hearing it and through rumors and what someone else described to them, that they get to actually go there and see where the incident happened. So that's why we do that.
Are they taken to particular spots there too, and are they relieved from the investigation?
No. They don't go in the building. They just go outside the building and just take a walk around the building, but they're not allowed in the building. They just go to the exterior so they can see where it actually happened. That will be up to the investigators.
And I'm sorry if this is too personal, but have you been able to speak with firefighter Gordon's family?
I was with the family yesterday morning at the hospital. My wife and I went and visited them last night about 4 o'clock and spent about an hour with them. And I can say that they're a very strong family. You can tell that they have a strong family unit, and they're doing very well now, and we're there to support them. So.
What will some of the donations be used for? Will they cover funeral costs, maybe a memorial or scholarship fund, things like that?
The donations would be more in tune whatever the family needs it for. It's for the family, whatever needs they may have. So up to and including tuitions or whatever it might be. Chief Dadowski
Yes, sir.
will be heading the team up. He is the assistant chief in charge, and it will be a very large team. It will incorporate just about someone from every one of our bureaus. It will incorporate different departments within the city, including the police department, who's already in on the investigation. Local 48 has members on from the safety committee will be on the team. So, as I say, it is very extensive, very thorough. We look at things throughout the entire fire. We may find things that had nothing to do with firefighter Gordon's demise, but it's something we may want to change that we see that through an investigation like this. So we'll look at the entire fire and everything that went on.
And will there be any sort of preliminary along the way, preliminary findings or conclusions, or do you wait until everything is complete?
We wait until everything is compiled.
Chief, it's my understanding he was the driver to be rescued.
Yes.
Was it because of the size of this fire, was that unusual for him to have been in there helping with the primary search, or is this kind of everybody jumps in with a fire that big?
With the heavy rescues, that's not unusual.
How's his partner doing? Who was with him and the other three that were injured? You mentioned that three were injured. How are they moving?
As well as you can imagine. It's, it affects everyone. It affects the whole demeanor of a department for a long time. And you can imagine how it affects the people that were with him and his partners. So, the union has gratefully offered up the Union Hall, and they have food and we have our CSISM team there, Critical Incident Stress Management team. So they go there and can talk and help each other and be with each other. There were quite a few there yesterday. We were there. So, and that will be open, I believe, at least today, tomorrow, Sunday if they need it. It'll be, I know the union will keep it open as long as need be. So.
Could you talk about some of the support you receive not only locally from other fire departments, but across the country?
It's overwhelming. I get emails. Of course, I belong to different organizations around the country's chiefs, and every department, especially the metro departments in Ohio, have got a hold of us, and from around the country has either emailed or hit out on Facebook or the other social medias to us and offered anything they can. All the departments in Hamilton County have contacted me and offered whatever we need. Kentucky, all of the northern Kentucky departments, I just got through sending emails of thank you, and we may be reaching out to them. So it's been a tremendous outpouring. But that's what the fire department is all about. That's what we do. That's one of the first calls I received yesterday was from the chief of Toledo, who just lost 2 firefighters a little over a year ago. So,
Chief, that NIOSH investigation, you said that will go on simultaneously. Will the human resources team that has been put together work with NIOSH along the lines of the investigation? Is that totally separate investigations?
they're separate, but there are parts where they'll weave together. So there isn't a duplication of efforts, on some things.
There'll be communication.
Correct. Okay, I want to thank everyone. Again, we offer up to you here. What I can ask personally is for you to respect our firefighters. You can see now that I heard one reporter say that who was at the fire that you could tell by looking at them something was wrong, and you can look around today and you can see that they're coping, and we thank you for the respectfulness that you have given, and ask that you would continue to give them their time to grieve and to deal with this. Again, we ask for your prayers for the family and for our department, and so if you would like, we can take you around the station now, and thank you very much.
All right, you've been listening to Chief Richard Braun. He's been giving an update on the death of firefighter Darrell Gordon this morning. We heard from the union president as well, Matt Alter, who gave us an update on the funeral arrangements for Darrell Gordon. We understand the working with the family closely, and we may have a service sometime about the middle of next week. Chief also touched on the investigations that'll begin to take place.
Yeah, giving all that information at the very station where Darrell Gordon was for so many years and met so many people and became a family with so many other firefighters. Chief Braun says it'll be a three-pronged investigation. The normal fire investigation report comes first, then more extensive with the human resources, more in-depth. They'll have to interview everyone who was on the scene. A NIOSH report, he says it takes time, can possibly sometimes take a year before we find out everything that went down yesterday morning in Madisonville.
Yeah, Chief indicated that there would be an initial report that comes out soon, was his wording on it, that would indicate the origin of the fire. So we're going to continue to update you on this story. Chief also said that he was a vibrant personality and one that is obviously missed by his co-workers, friends, and family.
Absolutely. Well, stay with us. We have more news coming up for you at about 10:25 this morning. Stay with us online at WLWT.com for the very latest on the story and reaction. And of course at noon. We'll see you then.